Thank you for your time. Okay, right now, let's shift our focus a bit back to trade right now. Sanghrika is an award-winning serial entrepreneur, international business strategist, MICE expert and event solution provider who founded Commerce Connect in year 2014, specializing, developing and assisting government entities and business houses in the high-growth markets of the Middle East, Africa, and Indian subcontinent. Sanghrika is able to strategize events from the enterprise's perspective while being cognizant of challenges and opportunities typical of the region. So today, with her experience and expertise, she will share with us and discuss more about mainstreaming trade to attain the sustainability development by Sanghrika Sahu, founder, Wixpo, Dubai, UAE. Now, the stage, let me send over it to you, Sanghrika. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Yeah. Good evening. And thanks so much, Dawn, for your lovely introduction and really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Today, I'm going to be talking to a topic which is very, very close to my heart. And I started my career with international trade with the UAE government. And this is a topic which has been taking a global stand. And this is why we all are here today. What exactly when we talk about trade, are we looking at? So I would like to explain a little bit on why we're talking about sustainable trade now. Trade is basically a commercial exchange between goods and services. But what sustainable trade does, it creates a social, economic, and environmental fundamentals of principles around here. So when we talk about sustainable trade, we're talking about creation of an economic value. And how do we create this? We want to ensure that there is some monetary benefits when we're going through trade, either to a company personally and to a country. And we want to reduce poverty and inequality across the globe. Preservation and reuse of environmental resources. This is a very, very crucial point. And that's why major companies in the world are moving to sustainable trade. Now, when we talk about sustainability trade, the most important things and the initiatives and actions should be aimed towards preservation of a particular resource. And I love talking about all these 4 resources, which is so important in our today's world. First and the foremost important thing is the human sustainability. When we talk about human sustainability, we're talking about investments into health and education system. And this is very crucial when it comes to services, nutrition, knowledge, and skills for different programs. Natural resources and spaces available are limited. And that's why to create a balanced, continual economic growth, we need to ensure that we have an economic well-being for everyone. And in this context, I would like everybody to focus on the importance, directly or indirectly, towards making of products, provision of the services of broad stakeholders, the human capital in the organization. That's very important for human sustainability. The second point is on your social sustainability. What do we talk about social sustainability? A lot of people before me have covered this. Our important speakers have covered this. It's about communities, it's about cultures, and it's about globalization. That means we preserve the future generation and to acknowledge that whatever we do today has an impact on others and on the world. And what we do over here is we concentrate on the concepts that is cohesion, reciprocity, honesty, and the most important relationships amongst people. And this can be encouraged and supported by government, by laws, information, and shared ideas on equality and rights. The next one is what keeps the capital intact, the economic sustainability. If social sustainability focuses sustainability focus on improving social equality, economic sustainability helps to improve the standard of living. So here we're talking about the quality of growth matters more than the quantity. New economics inclusion of natural capital, that is the ecological systems that we're talking about here, and the social capital, that is the relationships amongst people. We have to look into all of them, and the challenges of the mantra of the capital of continual growth is good and bigger and better. The next one, what is also a very important topic, is environment sustainability. When we talk about environment sustainability, it is very important that we improve the human welfare through protection of the natural capital. What is the natural capital? We talk about land, air, sea, our minerals, life below land, and life in water, as well as life on land. Both play a very crucial importance. So the initiatives and programs defined here are the needs are important for the future generation too. So when we're talking about sustainable trade and we're talking about the pillars, we have to ensure that we are working sustainability and we're working towards smart businesses. So what do the businesses need to do today? They need to make strategic decisions about how they are effectively incorporating any one of the chosen pillars into their policies and procedures. This is one of my favorite slides. It's on the 4 P's of sustainability. So a lot of problems get a lot of coverage around the world. But what deserves more attention is the plans to fix them. In 2015, the world came together around the ambitious vision to create a safer, healthy, and a prosperous world by 2030. So we also spoke in GCPIT about the agenda for 2030, which articulates the 17 SDG goals to represent a new approach in development, threading together economic, social, and environment dimensions. What is very interesting is the first point. Again, I want to reiterate this. When people are talking about sustainable trade, we need to look at these 5 points. So when we talk about people, we're talking about to end poverty and hunger in their forms. When we talk about the planet, we want to ensure that we are saving it for the present and the future generation. And this is very, very important when we talk about environment and climate change. When we talk about prosperity, we want to ensure that people have fulfilling lives and there is no inequality or gender parity coming into play over here. And the most important thing over here is that the trends which are achieving towards shared prosperity, the world is struggling right now in the slowing economy and rising equality. So we want to ensure that all these are taken care of in terms of the wage growth are not stagnated, we reduce unemployment, and also the quality of work is improved. So where are we standing here now? This is what is trade. Trade, whether it's local, regional, or international, it plays a very, very crucial role. And when we are playing a crucial role in this, we need to design sustainable development solutions for it. So how do we design sustainable solutions? We first and foremost start encouraging cooperations, which is one of the strong pillars of today's this particular conference that we are having also. What do we do in encouraging cooperation? By the nature itself, successful trade requires the participants to reach across sectors, regions, and boundaries to encourage some kind of collaborative, multi-stakeholder partnerships. And this is encouraged under SDG Goal 17. We circulate knowledge. Trade does not only move goods, it also serves as a conduit through which we can distribute, share, and exchange knowledge, ideas, innovations, and technologies in the underdeveloped regions. And today in this call, when I'm seeing the topics happening, we come from developed nations and developing nations and underdeveloped nations. So there's a very strong requirement that we have these conversations where we can actually circulate knowledge, expertise, and the other things that we have within our circulation. What is provide access to new opportunities? Trade furnishes people across the world with critical connections to markets, better technologies, financing, and investment, and provides them with tools to increase economies, improve quality of life, boosting purchasing power, and gain food security with zero hunger under SDG goal, SDG goal 2. So what are we talking about here? All this comes under the Agenda 2030, and to achieve a food security, it's very important that we have access to new opportunities. And we generate shared benefits. Trade benefits are bidirectional because sellers and buyers have mutual incentives to exchange goods and services. Both parties acquire access to markets otherwise would not be available. So people in developing regions, for example, can generate new income for purchase of consumer goods. So those in developed nations may benefit from greater selection and availability of goods and consumers, and the opportunity to sell into growing markets. So when channels are open, both parties come ahead and can have sustainable trade. So when we're talking about what the delivering key sustainable development goals, these are the goals actually that we actually concentrate more on when we are talking about trade. Does cover all the 17 goals, but these are the main ones that we do. So for no poverty, SDG goal number 1, there is an increasing evidence that well-planned and strategic execution trade policy initiatives can impact positively on sustainable poverty reduction. Trade opening also generated higher living of standards with great productivity, increased competitions, and most choice of consumers and better pricing in the marketplace. Zero hunger. Eliminate subsidies that cause distortions in the agricultural market to lead to fairer competitions in the competitive market, both helping the farmers as well as the consumers while contributing to food security. So I feel that this is a very, very strong requirement. And especially when COVID has hit us and when trade was closed, we noticed a lot of the countries that were not having their own food had a lot of issues. So the food security is a very, very important, crucial thing that we need to look into for trade. Good health and well-being, SDG goal number 3. One of the main objectives under this goal is to afford medicines for all. And it's very, very important that when we start doing this, there's a legal pathway to access affordable medicines across the globe. Gender equality. Trade can create opportunities for women employment and economic development. Through trade, job opportunities for women have increased sustainability significantly. Jobs in the export sectors also tend to have better pay and conditions. Export sectors are now important job providers for women in developing countries. Decent work and economic growth. SDG goal number 8. This is very, very important because trade-led inclusive economic growth enhances the country's income generating capacity, which is very, very important because it targets the countries which can be very, very strongly supported. And when we have decent lives, we can always have better sustainable growth. Industry, innovation, and infrastructure, SDG 9. This one we would definitely talk about how technology, knowledge, and innovation is leading to open markets. And when we have this, it does go into industrialization and development. Reduced inequalities. At a global level, when we have a lot of people who are actually decreasing inequality between countries, we can see that there has been a lot of improvement in their work. And if the gap between the rich and the richer and the poor gets reduced, we can see that there's lots of improvements happening through this. Life below water. We can see that a lot of our environmental degradation to our oceans is taking place. And this is really affecting our complete life and ecosystem. So when all these ones which are concentrating on life below water, we can see overfishing, we can see there's illegal and unregulated fishing happening. So it's creating a lot of disbalance across the globe. And the last and the most important one is SDG number 17, Partnership for Goals. For SDG 17 recognizes that trade means of implementation for the 2030 agenda. And this targets the countries to promote a universal, rules-based, open and non-discriminatory and equitable multilateral trading system. The increase of developing countries, exports, and doubling the share of exports for least developed countries. And implementation of duty-free, quota-free markets will definitely lead to more work. The WTO is the key channel for delivering these goals. My suggestion on this, on the issues that need an international community to actually have a lot of attention on, is in these two: finance as well as technology. I would like to leave everybody food for thought for these two particular topics that are very close to me. When finance across the globe, when there's sustainable trade happening, we're noticing that a lot of financial infrastructure and inclusion of e-payments coming into place. But on the other side, we are also seeing complex and sensitive issues, which include consumer protection, privacy, internet neutrality, competition, and data flows. In addition, there's also lack of clear legal and regulatory frameworks, which undermines the confidence of online trade and erodes consumer trust. So what are we doing in our small ways to ensure that we actually have this in play? The second is on technology. When technology is actually very, very good for our businesses to grow because it reduces the trade costs associated with physical distance. E-commerce allows a larger number of businesses, including remote areas, to have access to a greater global market and reach a broader network of buyers and sellers and participate in global value chains. But the flip side of it is not everybody has accessible to internet because purely of the countries that they come from. The benefits of digital trade continue to be unevenly distributed. While some developing countries have made more significant headway in the recent years, others are struggling to keep up. So let's see how our businesses can support and look into these two main important points. My small recommendations on ways to accelerate progress in achieving the SDGs is we need to start strengthening multilateral trading systems and bring the communities more closer. We continue to reduce trade costs, build supply side capacity and trade related infrastructure. So we look at a lot of places where we are seeing people coming forth and building more on supply so that the demand is met across the globe, and focus on export diversification and adding value. Apply flexible rules of origin to increase utilization of preference schemes. Ensure that non-tariff measures do not become barriers to trade and make e-commerce a force of inclusion. And with e-commerce, we've seen there are a lot of benefits to all our countries. We support the MSMEs in participating in international trades, shows, conference, online platforms, just like the one which we are. And these are small ways that we all can individually support sustainable trade. So my small contribution to this whole platform has been, after being working for 25 plus years with the UAE government and having my own business, I've started an online platform for the U in U, and that's the Women's Expo. So what exactly do we do at the Women's Expo? We are bringing together the digital platform of impact creators like you, and make them as impact multipliers. We have three most important enablers in this particular platform. We have socializing, skill up, and scale up. Through skill up, we would like people to get into knowledge, sharing through experience and through education. Scaling up is the businesses, what we spoke about, international sustainable trade. And this is what we are doing right now. So our goal is to reach 1 million women in the different SDG goals and give them a platform to share their initiatives, their projects, share and bring it under our platform to talk about what they are doing towards each goal. However small and however big, you are making a big impact. And we definitely call you on board to become an impact multiplier. So what is the value proposition that we have? The value proposition that we have on our platform is that we have community streams. So you can create your own community on any SDG goal that you are working towards. We have job boards, we have network socializing, and the three most important keys is skilling up, advisory, and a great library to get into. So we're launching this on 24th of November, and this is the code that you can actually register and join the Wexpo movement. I look forward to each one of you being on the platform and sharing how you are actually going to be improving trade, whether you're from a developing country, developed country, or underdeveloped country. I want each one of you all to come forth and create your own multipliers. And so you are already a big example in the world. Thank you. And if anybody wants to get in touch with me, please feel free, and my contact details are here.
Thank you so much, Singvika. We look forward to you sharing the slides with us later. Yeah.
Sure, I'll do that. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Thank you so
Take
much.
care.
I totally